What's up, everybody? It's your girl charaebchicago here with another reaction video, and guess what? I'm doing another Candace Owens. You guys know I did the other Candace Owens because I was reviewing her opinion about the Kyrie Irving situation. If you haven't checked out that video, I will drop the link at the bottom. And this one in particular, she's going to talk about someone else. I have not seen this video where I posted a Kyrie Irving video. I actually saw it. So this is going to be different because this is fresh eyes, never seen before, and you're going to be able to see a fresh reaction to me reacting to something that Candace says that may be different. And the reason why I say that may be different is because in this one, she's going to talk about The Rock. How did The Rock get away with this? Like, what is she talking about? I'm very curious to see what she is talking about because The Rock he comes off as a really cool guy. So I would be curious as to what is she saying? How did he get away with something? Because, you know, she's been on Kim Kardashian's butt for a minute talking about what she's been able to get away with. So let's see what she's talking about with The Rock. All right.
Listen, my producer said to me that some of you guys commented that we needed to have good stories, feel good stories. Of course, it's Thursday. Let's have a nice feel good story, Candace. And she found one for me. I'm just not feeling too good about it. I'll share it, whatever. Maybe it'll make you happy. And it's made a lot of people happy. They are commending Dwayne Johnson, you know, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So what he did recently was he bought every single Snicker bar.
And before I finish, I think it's funny that she's saying, let's do a feel-good video while she has on a Christmas color type of sweater. It looks like a Christmas sweater. So, and Christmas is supposed to give you feel good. So now she's saying they tried to give me something that feels good, but I don't feel good about this. So let's see what she's talking about.
At a 7-Eleven in Hawaii to right the wrong of his candy thefts when he was 14 years old. So the story is that he finally he was joking and said, I finally exorcised this damn chocolate demon. He returned back in Hawaii to a 7-Eleven where he claimed that he used to steal a Snickers bar every single day when he was 14 years old. And so what he did was he bought out all the Snicker bars, and he explained in an Instagram post that his family was, quote unquote, broke as hell when he was living on the island. And for nearly a year, he just would swipe a Snickers bar from a store as his pre-workout snack. First off, if it was for nearly a year, that's 365 Snickers bars. That's a lot of Snickers bar. I don't know if buying out all of the Snickers bars in one day is really going to cover that. Secondly, I think it's supposed to make us feel good, and we're supposed to go, oh, well, he was poor, so it's okay. I was poor. I never once stole every day from a store. I just didn't do that. So I don't really feel that way. I feel like he walked in, admitted that he committed a crime for a year when he was 14. He wasn't 6 or 7. And by the way, a Snickers bar, what a luxury. I have Snickers bars right now in my dressing room here. I'm
pausing it because I'm trying to figure out, when do we ever get the chance to see people make a mistake when they were younger and find a way to redeem it? He said he's finally conquering this Snicker demon, meaning he felt guilty about it. Now, I understand he said he bought Snickers for a year. I'm sure it wasn't just a full year. It may have been a little over, a little under. We don't know. And he stole one every day. He basically got good at it if he never got caught because he was able to come into the store and steal it every day. And he was 14. He was poor. And Snickers are definitely a luxury. So with the mentality of being poor, you're like, okay, some type of luxury. And yeah, it was funny because I just talked about this with my family about how I tried to steal one time. And I never tried to steal again because I felt so guilty and I just never did it again. Now, with me choosing to never do it again, somebody else who kept getting away with it probably, you know, you just continue to do it once you get away with something, right? So I think it's kind of unfair to use your experience because you lived in poverty that somebody else who lived in poverty could have did the same thing. Now, I do know that some people come from different backgrounds. Some people come up with different family structures. And I had a family structure where I was taught to do the right thing or taught to stand up for myself. So if I'm taught to do the right thing, then I know stealing is the wrong thing. So therefore, I'm built a guilty conscience. Now, that's to say that because I was a good kid, I did that. Some people, you know, I literally, let's be real for a second. Hold on. Scratch all that. Let's be real for 1 second. How many people do you know you went to school with who may have decent parents who still chose to do the wrong thing at a young age? Everybody does something young and dumb at a young age. He was 14. Yes, he was mature enough to know it was wrong, but he was young enough to understand, too young to understand the true consequences of doing it. Like, yes, 14 is mature, but it's still very immature. Extremely immature. Like, come on now, if we're talking mentally. So I remember literally one day I was in school, walking away from school or something. It was a girl that I went to school with, and she literally said this, and this is why I get frustrated when people say this about kids. If I did my kid this way and this, that, and the third, stop. Let me tell you something. I literally heard this girl say, my mama taught me the right thing. I just choose to do the opposite. She said that. And she was one of the smartest girls in my school. Very smart, witty. She just chose to be bad because she wanted to be bad. She knew she was consciously being bad, old enough to understand it. We had to been about 13. We was about The Rock's age, about 13 years old at this time, which is some form of maturity, but another level of immaturity. He was mature enough to know it was wrong, but immature enough to deal with his impulses. That's one thing we know about teenagers is they have strong, immature impulses. So if she's about to demonize The Rock for being immature and in making a mature decision later to try to find his own way to make up for it, and we don't know how many Snicker bars he bought. He could have bought more than 365 Snicker bars. It just say he bought out what they had. He could have bought out the whole stock. We don't know how much they had in stock. He could have bought what was on the shelves and not on the shelves. It didn't give those details from what I'm seeing right here. So I think it's unfair to judge based off what you experience and not what someone else experienced. We don't know. So let's continue though. This is only 4 minutes and I'm talking. I guess that kind of just, it's weird to judge somebody that way.
Luxury. They're like, what would you like? I'm like, a Snickers bar, because it's a luxury. It's caramel goodness. Everybody loves a Snickers bar, right? But the idea that when I was poor, the thing that I would steal if I was trying to survive, is if he was so poor, like if he was stealing stealing food, you know, I sold Top Ramen. We used to eat dinner that night. He said he was stealing a Snickers bar before his workout every day for a sugar high. So I don't really know about this story. I feel like a lot of kids go to prison for this sort of petty theft. Petty theft 365 times would have mattered to some prison time, but he's now The Rock. And they're like, oh my God, we're so happy you're here. And I don't find this to be acceptable. So there is that.
Petty theft. So many kids do petty theft. It is so common. And that's the reason why they say a lot of times you should deal with it in the community and not involve the police. Because the police may not be as lenient and understanding to a child being a child and doing something stupid and immature, because they have to abide by the law, where opposed to the community is going to say, we know his story. We know this kid. We know their parents. So we can find a way to discipline this child with their parents. That's the difference between some kids who go to jail and some kids who don't. Because how many kids do we know got caught with some stuff and end up getting some other form of discipline instead of prison? The fact that he tried to rewrite his wrong, I think, is the reason why your producers gave it to you, Candace. I think that's why.
Story's supposed to make you feel good. It makes me angry. It makes me angry. I'm sick of these celebrities getting away with everything. The Rock should be put in prison for his petty theft crimes. So here's a video of him on Instagram describing that theft.
I have been waiting decades to do what I'm getting ready to do now. Hey, where's your Snickers? When I was 14 years old, every day I used to stop here at this 7-Eleven and steal a king-size Snicker bar because I couldn't afford to buy one. That was my pre-workout food. I did that for almost a year every day. I had to come back and buy every Snickers bar on those shelves. What's your name? BK. Ring all these up. BK's like...
Those are a lot of Snickers.
I used to steal a Snickers every day.
For doing that.
He should
I
have been
gotta come
arrested.
back and I have to buy them. You know what I mean? BK's look, listen, I'm trying to count all this. I don't need to hear your stories. Go tell Oprah. What do you got? I got it. You're welcome. What you got, big brother? Come on. You want anything? You got anything? How much? 98. 300. That's just for you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'm gonna leave these here. If somebody looks like they're stealing Snickers, give them these so they don't steal it. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that story could make you feel happy. He buys everything for everybody in the store, and then he recounts how he used to steal a Snicker bar every day for an entire year. And then he shows that photo of himself, and he doesn't look like a starving kid. If you were a starving kid, you wouldn't be.
Because he went to the gym. And I don't know what kind of gym he went to. Somebody could potentially saw potential in him and allowed him in the gym for free. That happens. That happens I know he did wrestling. So that happens in those certain fields, the boxing gym, wrestling, because they know those kids come from a situation like not having money on a young man is it's different than with women. It's different. We don't know how that feels. I've seen a woman be stressed out by money, and I've seen a guy be stressed out by money. It's a different kind of stress. It is. It just is. I can't explain it because I'm not a man. I just know it's different. And yeah, so I'm not going to condemn this 14-year-old boy who came from poverty and decided to steal so he can steal Snicker bars because they are supposed to bulk you up. I know from being in health that peanuts and stuff like that, and it's also the chocolate, sugars, sugar, all that, you know what I mean? Yes, people, eat bread and a lot of carbs and protein to bulk up. Here's The Rock, 14, bulking up. And you could do a home workout, never lift and look like The Rock, honestly, with the proper diet. I'm just being 100. I know from being in that world of fitness. So that's just the truth.
Going to buy a king-size Snicker every day. If he told me he was stealing for his family, maybe I would go, oh, he stole ramen because they...
So the mentality of stealing for your family is probably in a different way that he was probably thinking about it. He probably was thinking that this wrestling is going to get me into a position where I could do better and I could provide for my family. Men see are forward thinking like that sometimes. Just like the guy who goes to the gym every day to play basketball so he can get in the NBA and then make money. Now, I'm not here to say that everybody should be in entertainment because it's crazy. Oddly enough, I was having this conversation with my mom not too long ago, but people getting in entertainment and unfortunately they see that and they see that as a way out of getting out of poverty. He did that probably with wrestling. So he figured if I work out, eat these Snicker bars, which is one form of luxury, because you gotta have, if you're living in poverty, finding some way of some relief every day is probably his way of escaping. It was his way of escaping. We don't know his full story. That was probably his way of escaping and forward thinking that maybe if I do this, and this is me just thinking of how he probably was thinking. How he possibly may have been thinking at that time. And that's why he felt guilty, because he had the right intent in trying to provide for his family, but did it in a negative way. You're not supposed to steal. Let's be clear. You're not supposed to steal at all. Stealing is wrong, you know, and that was just his way. So we need a little more compassion, Candace. God dang. That's why your stories are rough. Can we, what's going on, Candace? We need some happy stories. Like, I'm serious. Like, can you find one then if your producers can't find one? Golly.
I just needed food to survive, and then I would go, this is beautiful. But no, this is a luxury. Snickers bars are, in fact, a luxury.
Yes.
All right, guys, the next portion of the show is going to be available exclusively on...
Oh, my God. Yes, it is. It's a luxury, like you said. And that's a luxury he could not afford. So he stole. And that's what typically happens with people who live in poverty. They steal, you know, or do things of that sort. Now, some people choose not to, you know. Like I said, I attempted to. I didn't even end up leaving with the object. It was like a brownie or something, which is a luxury. And I didn't have no 25 cents that day to go ahead and get a brownie. Yes, I tried to steal a 25 cents brownie. I usually try to go to a house and rumble through the furniture to go ahead and get me some, find me some quarters. I couldn't find me some quarters that day. So I end up trying to steal. I immediately got caught. The owner of the store knew me, was familiar with me, knew I was a good kid. He was like, put it back, and he let me go. He knew I was not built for it. It's not a big deal. We never talked about it again. I was welcome to come back later. I didn't come back immediately. I took some time because I felt guilty. But I eventually came back later, started buying candy. Me and the store owner never talked about it again. Never talked about it. It was just like, put it back. Let me walk out the store. So I think if we have more compassion for people who are living in situations, or be more understanding, that's really what people are lacking to me, is understanding. Like, they just don't. You was in this situation, Candace Owens, you was lacking understanding. Yep. That's what I would say. All right, you guys. That's my review. You guys go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, share. If you agree with me, if you agree with Candace Owens, please let me know. Yes, of course, stealing is wrong. And we do understand circumstances can create certain things. So let me know. Do you feel like Candace? Like, no, that's stupid. I don't care how old you are. Or do you feel like me? Like, I need more details to see whether or not this is that bad. You know, he did, try to make up for it in some way. So, yeah. So, hey, let me know. Other than that, on to next video. I will see you guys. All right. Peace.
Where'd you find this?
On Charaebchicago.